The neglected German shepherd was chained to a rusted pole, her fur so matted and filthy she was barely recognizable. Dozens walked past her desperate cries, until one woman stopped, and everything changed. It was a cold, gray November morning. Rain fell in heavy sheets, soaking the cracked pavement of an abandoned lot on the edge of town. Trash cans clattered in the wind. Weeds pushed through broken concrete. It was the kind of place most people hurried past without a second glance. But Sofia Rivera wasn't most people. She was running late for her shift at the animal clinic, hoodie pulled tight against the rain, when a faint sound stopped her. A whimper, raw, hoarse, almost drowned by the storm. She turned her head, heart tightening. There, huddled beneath a leaning street sign, was a German shepherd, barely more than skin and bone. A thick, rusted chain held her by the neck, looped cruelly around a splintered metal pole. Her ribs jutted through her sides. Mud clung to every inch of her matted fur. Her eyes, one nearly swollen shut, were filled with pain and exhaustion. Sofia's breath caught. "Oh my God," she whispered, stepping closer. The dog didn't growl, didn't bark. She simply watched and too weak to move. The collar had dug into her neck, leaving deep, infected welts. A cracked bowl sat nearby, filled with algae-colored rainwater. There was no food, no shelter, just the chain and the rain. Sofia knelt in the mud, her hands trembling. "How long have you been here?" she asked softly, brushing wet hair from her face. The dog flinched but didn't pull away. Fury and heartbreak surged through her. She grabbed her phone with shaking hands and called the clinic. "Dr. Bennett," she said the moment he picked up, "I found a dog, a German shepherd. She's been starved, abandoned, chained. We need to help her. Please, right now." "I'm on my way," he said. Sofia stayed by the dog's side, shielding her from the wind with her body. The rain didn't stop. Cars passed in the distance. No one looked. No one cared. But Sofia did. Minutes felt like hours until the clinic van finally pulled up. Dr. Bennett jumped out with bolt cutters and a blanket. As he cut through the chain, the dog didn't resist. She was beyond fear, beyond fight. Her body sagged into Sofia's arms. "She's not just scared," Sofia whispered, eyes full of tears. "She's broken." Dr. Bennett wrapped the blanket around the dog's trembling frame. "Let's take her in. Give her a name, something hopeful. How about Luna?" Sofia shook her head gently. "No," she said, stroking the dog's soaked fur. "Her name is Kaiser. She's not just a victim. She's a survivor." And with that, Kaiser's journey, from chains to courage, had begun. Kaiser lay silently in the back of the clinic van, wrapped in a worn blue blanket. Rain still tapped gently on the roof as they drove, but inside the air was filled with quiet urgency. Sofia sat beside her, one hand resting lightly on the dog's trembling back. She kept whispering soothing words, unsure if Kaiser understood, but needing to say them anyway. "You're safe now. It's going to be okay." Dr. Bennett glanced at them through the rearview mirror, his brows knit with concern. "She didn't even try to resist," he said quietly. "That's not a good sign." Sofia nodded grimly. "She shut down, emotionally and physically. I've seen it in abused animals before, but never this bad." Back at the clinic, the team was ready. The moment they arrived, two vet techs helped lift Kaiser gently onto a stretcher. She was feather-light for a German shepherd, just skin, bones, and a flickering heartbeat. Her fur smelled of mildew and rot. Her body was covered in sores. One of her hind legs trembled involuntarily. "Vitals are weak," one tech called out. "Let's get fluids started. Prep the isolation room," said Dr. Bennett. "I want blood work, x-rays, and a heartworm test. Now." Sofia refused to leave Kaiser's side. She stayed near her during the entire intake, holding her paw as they examined her. Kaiser never snapped, never growled. Her eyes followed Sofia's every move, as if clinging to the only kindness she'd known in a long time. Hours passed. By evening, the worst had been confirmed. "She has advanced malnutrition," Dr. Bennett explained. "Severe skin infections. Her right eye might be permanently damaged, and she's tested positive for heartworm. The scars on her neck indicate she was chained for months, possibly longer." Sofia sat in silence, holding back tears. How, how does someone let this happen? Dr. Bennett didn't answer. He just handed her a clipboard. These are her meds. Daily baths, antibiotics. We'll start heartworm treatment once she stabilizes. Sophia hesitated. Then before she could second-guess herself, she said it. I'll foster her. Dr. Bennett blinked. Sophia? I mean it. I'll do whatever it takes. She needs consistency, love, safety, someone who won't give up on her. You do realize this won't be easy, he said gently. Rehabilitation like this takes months, sometimes longer. There'll be setbacks, bad days. I know, Sophia said, voice steady. But look at her. After everything she's been through, she hasn't bitten anyone. She hasn't even barked. There's a soul still inside her. I see it. She hasn't given up, and neither will I. Dr. Bennett studied her for a moment, then gave a soft nod. All right, but you won't do this alone. We're with you. That night, Kaiser lay curled up on a soft blanket inside her recovery kennel. Her eyes were half closed, her breathing shallow but calm. Sophia sat just outside the glass, watching over her like a guardian angel. For the first time in a long while, Kaiser was not alone, and for the first time in her broken life, hope had entered the room. The clinic lights were dim as the last clients left, but Sophia stayed behind, kneeling beside Kaiser's kennel. The German shepherd lay still, her head resting on the edge of a worn towel. Her ribs poked sharply through her skin, and her fur, even after a bath, was still stained and patchy. Sophia gently unlocked the kennel and slid inside. Hey, sweetheart, she whispered, setting down a small bowl of warm, soft food. Kaiser didn't move at first. Her nose twitched, but she didn't lift her head. She's refusing food again, Sophia called softly over her shoulder to Dr. Bennett. Keep trying, he replied from his office. She might not trust it yet. Trauma runs deeper than hunger sometimes. Sophia picked up a spoon and slowly brought it near Kaiser's mouth. The dog flinched, a reflex from who knows how many hits in the past. Sophia waited, her voice soft and patient. No one's going to hurt you now. I promise. It took nearly 10 minutes, but Kaiser finally took one cautious lick. Sophia smiled through her tears. Good girl. That's it. You're a fighter, aren't you? Every day brought small challenges and smaller victories. Kaiser had infections in both ears, deep sores on her legs, and a persistent cough from untreated heartworm. Her body was fragile, but Sophia quickly realized her heart was even more so. Kaiser wouldn't make eye contact. She flinched at footsteps, cowered when someone raised a hand, even just to scratch their head. Her trauma wasn't just physical, it was written into every movement, every reaction. Dr. Bennett was realistic. She may never fully recover emotionally, he warned. Some dogs never come back after this kind of neglect. Sophia listened, but her eyes never left Kaiser. But some do, she replied, and so she kept showing up. Sophia stayed late after every shift, cleaning wounds, changing bandages, whispering reassurance. On one particularly hard day, she carefully clipped the last of Kaiser's filthy, matted fur. Beneath the knots and grime, she found scars, raw reminders of the chain that once cut into the dog's neck. As Sophia worked, Kaiser trembled, but she didn't bite, not once. She trusts you, one of the vet techs remarked. Sophia looked down at the dog. She wants to, that's enough. By the second week, Sophia made a decision. She can't stay here in a cage, she told Dr. Bennett. She needs sunlight, fresh air, and quiet. But your apartment doesn't allow dogs, he reminded her. I know. That's why I called Ethan. Her best friend Ethan had a spacious home with a fenced yard. He'd agreed to let Kaiser stay there during her recovery. It wasn't ideal, but it was better than the clinic. She'll have her own space, Sophia said, her hand resting on Kaiser's back. And I'll still care for her. Every single day. That night, as Kaiser lay in a warm bed for the first time, she slowly turned her head toward Sophia. Just for a moment, their eyes met. A spark. Healing had begun. Kaiser stepped hesitantly into Ethan's house, her paws barely making a sound against the hardwood floor. Her body remained low to the ground, her tail tucked tightly between her legs. Sophia followed close behind, speaking softly and gently. It's okay, girl. You're safe here. Ethan knelt a few feet away, staying still and letting Kaiser sniff the air. "She can have the guest room," he said, nodding toward a quiet corner of the house. "I put a bed, a blanket, and a bowl of water in there." Kaiser didn't respond. She had frozen in place, trembling slightly. Her eyes darted between Ethan, the unfamiliar room, and Sophia. Her world had been cages, chains, and cold cement. This warmth, this kindness, it was foreign. "Come on, girl," Sophia coaxed, stepping ahead and patting the floor near her. After a moment's hesitation, Kaiser followed, crawling more than walking. Every movement was cautious, like she was waiting for something bad to happen. Sophia led her into the guest room and gently closed the door behind them. The space was cozy. A soft light glowed from a lamp, and a large dog bed sat in the corner. Kaiser sniffed it, then settled on the floor next to it instead. "That's okay," Sophia whispered with a smile. "We'll try the bed another day." The first few nights were difficult. Kaiser barely ate, often startled awake from sleep with a sharp yelp, and refused to go outside without Sophia by her side. But Sophia was patient. Every moment spent by Kaiser's side, quietly reading, humming lullabies, or just offering her presence. Ethan helped where he could. He brought home healthy food and even installed a doggy door leading to the secure backyard. Still, Kaiser never used it. She would only go out when Sophia gently guided her, one paw step at a time. But slowly, very slowly, things began to change. Day 5. Kaiser sniffed her dog bed again, and after circling twice, curled up on it for the first time. Sophia cried quietly in the hallway. Day 14. Sophia sat cross-legged on the living room floor, holding a treat in her outstretched hand. Kaiser approached, paused, and then, just for a second, nudged the treat with her nose before taking it gently from Sophia's palm. "Good girl," Sophia whispered. "I'm so proud of you." Day 21. Kaiser stood at the back door while Ethan was watering plants. As he turned, surprised, the dog gave a single tentative wag of her tail. Ethan called Sophia immediately. She wagged her tail!" Sophia rushed over, eyes shining with emotion. It was just a flick, just a heartbeat, but it meant the world. That small wag was a spark of hope, a sign of trust, a whisper of healing. Bit by bit, Kaiser began to understand. Not every hand would hurt her, not every voice would shout, and not every home was temporary. In the quiet corners of Ethan's house, with Sophia by her side, Kaiser was learning what it meant to be loved. Sophia sat on the back porch with Kaiser curled beside her, the cool breeze ruffling the German shepherd's fur. The sun had just dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in soft amber and lavender hues. Sophia gently ran her fingers along Kaiser's back, smiling as the dog gave a contented sigh. It had been nearly a month since Kaiser's rescue, and each day brought new milestones, tiny moments that felt monumental. That evening, Sophia took out her phone and hit record. She didn't plan anything. She simply captured the image of Kaiser resting her head in her lap, her deep, expressive eyes now free of infection, gazing up with quiet trust. "This is Kaiser," Sophia whispered into the video. "She was left to die, chained to a pole, forgotten by the world. But look at her now. She's healing. She's loved." She posted it on her social media account with a short caption, "From broken to brave. This is what love can do." She didn't expect much. Maybe a few friends would like it, maybe some kind comments. But overnight, everything changed. By morning, the video had been shared thousands of times. Sophia's phone buzzed with notification after notification. People from around the world began commenting, sharing their own rescue stories, their heartbreak, and their hope. "This made me cry. Thank you for saving her. She looks like my old shepherd. I hope she finds peace. Where can I donate to her care?" It wasn't just strangers online. A local news station reached out by noon. They had seen the video and wanted to run a feature on Kaiser's journey. The next day, a news crew showed up at Ethan's house. Kaiser stayed close to Sophia, nervous but composed, while the reporter gently asked questions about the rescue, her condition, and her progress. Sophia told the story honestly. "She was discarded like trash," she said, tears in her eyes. "But I saw her. I heard her cries. and I couldn't walk away. The news segment aired that evening. It included footage of the rescue, snapshots from her first vet visit, and heartwarming clips of Kaiser's transformation, sleeping in her bed, taking treats, and even wagging her tail. Donations poured in. Within days, Sophia received enough money to cover Kaiser's medical treatments, food, supplements, and training sessions. People sent blankets, toys, handwritten letters, and even art pieces inspired by Kaiser's resilience. What touched Sophia most were the messages from survivors, people who had also known trauma and pain. Kaiser reminds me of myself. I didn't think I could heal either. Watching her journey gave me the strength to start mine. Kaiser had gone from being ignored on the side of the road to inspiring thousands. Her presence, once overlooked, was now a beacon of hope. Sophia looked down at Kaiser curled against her, eyes finally peaceful. "You're not just healing, girl," she whispered. "You're helping the world heal with you." As Kaiser's physical wounds healed, Sophia began noticing something remarkable, something no vet report or blood test could explain. Kaiser had an uncanny ability to sense emotions. It started one quiet evening. Sophia and Ethan had just finished dinner, and the air felt unusually heavy. Ethan sat on the couch, staring at an old photo on his phone, his younger brother who had passed away in an accident the year before. He rarely spoke of it, but tonight a familiar sadness lingered in his eyes. Kaiser, who had been lying by the window, suddenly stood up. Without a sound, she padded across the room and sat beside Ethan. She didn't bark or nudge. She simply leaned her head against his leg and stayed there. Ethan blinked. "Is she comforting me?" Sophia watched, heart swelling. "She knows." It wasn't a fluke. The pattern became clearer with each passing day. When Sophia came home after a long shift, exhausted and anxious, Kaiser would quietly nuzzle her hand or rest her head in her lap. If someone raised their voice, even in a light-hearted joke, Kaiser would retreat slightly, ears lowered, scanning the room as if making sure everyone was okay. One afternoon, they took Kaiser to the vet for a routine checkup. A little girl in the waiting room was sobbing, clutching a small blanket. Her cat had just passed away. Kaiser, despite her usual caution around strangers, walked right up to the girl, sat beside her, and gently placed her head in the child's lap. The girl looked up through tears and smiled for the first time that day. The clinic staff stared in awe. "That's not just a sweet dog," said Dr. Bennett later. "That's intuition. That's empathy." Wanting to understand more, Sophia contacted a professional dog trainer who specialized in therapy dogs. After watching Kaiser interact with several people, the trainer was stunned. "She doesn't just react to sadness, she feels it. That's incredibly rare," she said. "She has the potential to be an amazing therapy dog." The word stuck with Sophia. Therapy dog. The idea lit a spark in her heart. Kaiser had come from the darkest place, starved, abused, forgotten. But maybe she was meant for more than just survival. Maybe she was meant to heal others too. The trainer began working with Kaiser twice a week. They focused on gentle commands, calm presence, and reading emotional cues. Kaiser excelled. She picked up on emotions faster than the humans in the room. Children, seniors, even nervous adults felt drawn to her quiet strength. "She's like a sponge for pain," Sophia whispered during one session, watching a previously unresponsive elderly man smile as Kaiser rested her paw on his foot. But instead of being crushed by it, she turns it into comfort. Every day revealed more of Kaiser's gift. From the broken cries in the rain to now, this gentle, empathetic guardian, Kaiser wasn't just healing, she was becoming a miracle. Kaiser's transformation wasn't just physical, it was something deeper, something that no one could have predicted when she was first pulled from that abandoned lot. She had gone from a broken, fearful dog to a symbol of resilience, but there was one thing still waiting to be discovered: her true calling. Sophia watched amazed as Kaiser passed each therapy dog training session with flying colors. Kaiser had a way of reading people that seemed almost magical. She could sense their moods, their needs, and without fail, she responded with calmness and understanding. The connection was immediate and powerful. One day, Sophia took Kaiser to a nearby hospital where they had recently started a pet therapy program. The head nurse, Julia, had heard about Kaiser's story and was eager to see the dog in action. They arrived during the pediatric wing's visiting hours. The children there were mostly long-term patients, many battling serious illnesses. As they entered the ward, Kaiser's eyes scanned the room, sensing the anxiety and fear in the air. She walked quietly beside Sophia, her tail low but steady. The first child Kaiser approached was a girl named Emily, who had been in the hospital for weeks due to leukemia treatments. Emily was shy and had stopped talking to anyone, even her family who visited daily. She sat in her bed clutching a stuffed bear, her eyes vacant. Sophia knelt beside Emily. "Hey, sweetie, would you like to meet Kaiser?" The little girl didn't respond, but Kaiser gently padded up to the edge of the bed and sniffed the stuffed bear before resting her head softly on Emily's lap. The room fell silent. Sophia's heart skipped a beat as Emily's small hand, hesitant at first, reached down to touch Kaiser's fur. Emily's face softened. Slowly she began to pet the dog, her hand trembling at first but then becoming steadier as Kaiser stayed by her side, her head still resting against Emily's legs. Within moments, Emily whispered, "She feels like my dog at home. She's soft." Tears welled in Sophia's eyes. The girl hadn't spoken to anyone in days, but Kaiser had broken through. It wasn't just a dog comforting a child. It was the bond between them that spoke volumes, a language beyond words.